the Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens package, I couldn't get into it was well edited. I couldn't get into this one. And not because of Steen, but because of fucking Seth Rollins, the whole Monday Night Messiah. This seemed very dramatic. It didn't seem like a legitimate issue between people. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for that fucking insightful commentary.
No, I think Seth Rollins, and I saw him live with the Ring of Honor at a show you brought me to as Tyler Black. I think he is one of the most talented guys in the ring out there. And I think that this gimmick, this Monday Night Messiah and his promos, whatever they're doing with him has made it so that I really don't want to see him.
Yeah,
and he's one of the most talented guys in the ring, and I just don't want to see him. And this package kind of exemplified why.
They're not getting him over, they're getting him under. Somebody, I said that on Twitter. I said, they've done the impossible. They've made me not want to see Seth Rollins. And some idiot wrote back and said, "What? Isn't that supposed to? He's a heel. You're supposed to." No, I said, they've made me not like Seth Rollins. And the guy said, "Well, he's supposed to be a heel. Isn't that what he's supposed to?" I said, "No, not like him as in I don't want to see any more of him." Anyway, it was very dramatic, the package. But these guys, I figured, were going to be able to have a good match. And the Monday Night Messiah shit to me sounds like something that the writers would come up with. It's like entertaining Chris Daniels. When we used to like Chris Daniels before he went ahead and just broke down and decided to be entertaining, like, the fucking writers always want. This is some kind of writers bullshit that only writers of fictitious shit that go into it looking that way would think was a great story. I will say Steen does not look any neater than in his Ring of Honor days, but he does look a lot lighter and he moves better. But here's the thing. They started fast and they were laying shit in and they worked hard. And the fucking Steen taking a backdrop on the apron and a suplex was over and above, beyond the Call of Duty. So they were working their ass off. And Seth cutting the promos on him was nice, although after a while I'd have preferred he got some new material instead of just saying the same thing over and over again. Right before Owens' comeback, I detected an edit of some description on something that they did, but I'm not taking anything away from this. They worked their asses off, and finally, after Owens hit him with a big fucking sit-out power bomb, boom. And it kind of slowed down, and then Seth rolls out of the ring, grabs the ring bell, and hits Steen over the fucking Owens over the head with it. Boom, and the referee disqualifies him. And I wrote, what the fuck? Out of nowhere again. And I thought...
was that a sound effect of the bell sound?
Yes. Yeah, and here's the thing. The first time, you could have bought it, right? But when it happened the same way later on, 3 more times...
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying they can't leave well enough alone. But anyway, then Owens challenged for a no disqualification match and they restarted. This was unnecessary. This was overthought. And I guarantee you this was a Steen because he will never leave anything alone. The finish was going to be the same as if Steen could have won with that sit out power bomb. And I would have said, my God, if they just hadn't done the no disqualification part or done some of that stuff before the power bomb, I would have said it was great, but they got to stop it, then challenge for the start, then the chair shots, which he didn't need to he took 3 hard chair shots that were way harder than he needed to take, even though they weren't in the head, tore up the desk. They fucking did the bell shots where then you could tell that the bell sound was added in post. And then Steen goes up and drops the goddamn... I guarantee you he came up with this whole last fucking of the match DQ part. I guarantee you, because he wanted to take that fucking bump off the sign. And nobody could fucking talk him out of it. I guarantee somebody have a mole in the organization. Somebody prove to me that I am not lying here. I guarantee you that's what happened. He wanted to take the goddamn bump off the sign, and they said, well, you couldn't get up there and do all that stuff without being counted out and everything. Well, let's make it no DQ. Whatever the fuck. That's the point. They had a great match going, and they could have fucking Steen, instead of taking that goddamn elbow 30 feet through the table in front of no people and then rolling him in the ring and beating him, they could have just done the guy and roll him in the ring and beat him with a stunner after you've dropped your fat ass on him from the fucking roof 30 feet above. He could have hit his fucking power bomb without doing that stupid shit at the end, and they would have had almost a flawless fucking performance all the way through from what I saw, and they could have got by with, they did it over and above a better job than I would have expected until they just made it stupid at the end. And that's the kind of shit that we used to have tried to talk Steen out of all the time. Is going too far, doing too much, or just he doesn't know when to fucking quit. Hello?
I don't know what I can add to that. You know, based on what I said earlier about Seth Rollins, you know, typically, not universally, but typically, I like his matches more than I do his promos and his personality as the Monday Night Messiah. And with Kevin Owens, it's kind of the opposite. I'm not as crazy about his matches, but I like his promos and his personality.
Yeah.
But this match didn't do it for me. Nothing against either guy, but it just didn't do it for me. This was the match, I believe, where I asked a few people, how long is the show tonight? Is it 3 hours or is it 4 hours? And I was pleasantly surprised to find out we were nearing the end of this portion of WrestleMania.
Well, we're not close enough.